after tens of thousands of lines of code, hours and hours of stress, hours of banging my head against the wall, days of nights where I haven't slept, weekends where I haven't been outside, I've finally done it. I've finally done it. I cannot believe I've done it. I am going to be so famous because I've managed to prove the most important thing that, I mean, I'm amazed that I actually managed to prove it. I was actually trying to disprove it, but during the process of disproving it, I actually proved it, and I can't believe it. I just spent so much time researching stuff, and I was like, this cannot be. This just cannot be. I can't believe it. Why would people think this? And I thought, I'm going to sit down, and before I make my judgment, before I make my decision, I'm going to do all of the maths, check out all of the science, do all of my research, and make sure that I know what I can decide, and especially what I can teach my children and my grandchildren, because that's what's important. If they go to school and they learn stuff, I want to know that my children are taught the correct things. Now, there are books and internet pages and blogs and videos and other scientists all telling my children, infecting my children with their thoughts. I wanted to know that I can infect or teach my children with the correct information that I have worked out, and I can teach them all of the correct stuff that they should be learning. Now, after, like I said, tens of thousands of lines of code, I've managed to prove it. And like I said, I'm amazed that I actually tried to disprove it rather than prove it. And I'm amazed that I did manage to disprove it. It wasn't really my plan to upload this video. After I managed to find it, it was just like amazing. I thought, right, this thing that I've created has to be shown on the internet, because I don't necessarily want to give the code out to other people yet. I know there are other scientists online on YouTube that are going to want to see what I've coded, because they'll then know whether it's true or not, or whether it's false or not. And I want people to be able to judge it. I want people to be able to critique it, to tell me whether or not it is correct, because I am absolutely certain I have disproved it. And like I said, I was out to prove something, and I was out to prove it rather than to disprove it. But because I looked at it scientifically, I looked at it objectively all the time, and I left all of my previous education, all of my previous thoughts behind me, and I only wrote down what my aim was, to make sure this is the thing that I can do. And this is the ultimate aim: prove this, this, and this, and this. And as long as all of my criteria is fulfilled, all of my expectations are fulfilled, then I have proved it. But as I was doing them, it all disproved it in the end, and I kept on doing more tests to then prove that my disapproval was correct. And the more I did the test, the more I proved that it was then I disproved what I thought in the beginning. So once I disproved it, what I did is I went back to the beginning again, and I then restarted the test to then disprove the fact that I disproved already. And so I wrote out new criteria, I wrote new code to be able to test the work that I did that disproved it. And as I was going, I managed to prove the work that I disproved. It's incredible, because like when you start out and you want to prove something and then you disprove it, you then start to prove the thing that you disproved, and then you start to actually work out what I've proved is proof that I've disproved something that people have been teaching you. It's so incredible. Anyway, I digress. I need to tell you how I did it. Now, before I tell you how I did it, it's important that you understand, okay, is that please, you just contact me directly, right? And we can make some form of call and we can talk about it, and then I can take your critiques about how I did it. Now, I'm a software developer. I'm a senior software developer. I've spent more than a decade programming software. And like I said, for the past year, I've been coding to do this project in my spare time. And finally, today I've got the answer which I can release. So if you are ready and you want to hear it, and I'm guessing you are ready and you do want to hear this, because the community, I tell you what, it's going to explode. It is going to explode. And you're going to be so amazed by this that my name is just going to be everywhere. But I just believe, because I've got to do it, it's something that's really important that I've got to do. And I've got to show people that what they believed before was incorrect, and that the stuff that they should have been believing in was this rather than what they have been taught. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Is because if you are taught one thing and then they tell you another thing, then it's kind of like brainwashing. Do you not think that although there were the facts there telling you this, well, they were wrong because they were actually this. There were things. There was like, it's like when Alan Turing cracked the Enigma code. You know, it was like that. Everyone said it's not impossible. It's not possible to do, and he built a machine to be able to do it. Now, essentially, this is what I've done. I've managed to crack the Enigma code that is. Well, it's not the Enigma code because that was the Enigma code. I didn't crack the Enigma code because Alan Turing did that already. I'm just using the Enigma code as an example of the stuff that I've then cracked, you know? So I'm making it, do you understand? It's an example that I've used. So I don't want to say that I create, because I don't want people thinking that I did, no, because that I wasn't born when that happened. So I didn't do it. Anyway, I digress once again. Anyway, like I said, the community is going to be super happy that I managed to do this. And I will be publishing it. It's the 29th. So Thursday, the 29th of October today. I will be publishing all of the code on the 1st of November, or like midnight. So GMT time, I'll be publishing it at midnight on my website. So everyone can see the code and they can test it out. All you need right now is, I'm sorry, but the code that I've written only works on iPad right now. I've made it just for an iPad because it had the LiDAR radar, and I needed the LiDAR radar to be able to do the code that I was writing. So I went out and bought the iPad Pro so I could use the LiDAR, because this is fundamentally the tool that I needed to accomplish my tasks, and I used it. I don't want to explain too much because I want you to see it in the code. I want you to see the example rather than me explain it too much. But I have done it, and like I said, my aim was not to prove, or my aim wasn't to disprove. My aim was to prove that the stuff that people are talking about was correct, but whilst proving the stuff that people have been taught, I managed to disprove it, and I managed to then prove that I disproved the thing that they were proving. Because what I didn't want was people coming to me saying, no, you haven't disproved it. So that's why I disproved it first, and then I spent time proving why I disproved something that other people have proven. So on, because it's not very scientific otherwise, but I'm still open for judgment, and there is a likelihood that someone else is more clever than me and says, David, you got it wrong. So I am open for this. This is what you got to understand. I am open for this. So, but I am 99% sure that I have disproved it scientifically. So this is why I'm releasing this. Well, there's nothing really that's like 100%. I need other people to be able to confirm what I said is correct and that what is previously said is wrong. There's a link in the description which will be available on the 1st of November. That's it. It's amazing. So I've disproved it. Check out the link in the description below. Thanks then. See you soon. Bye.